YouTube. Bookum Dano here. I've got some more C2E2 art to show off, and a really nice piece, a commission that I had done at C2E2 by Eduardo Pansica that I'm so happy with. But I thought I'd start off with this this reproduction print from Dustin Wynn. Dustin Wynn does the art for Descender. He's doing variant covers for Super Sons right now that I think are really awesome. As you can see, he's got this like watercolor, you know, that's his medium, and makes really cool stuff. But I saw this print and thought, man, that's gonna look great in my my comic room. So, you know, it's Daredevil, Batman. You got the Batman kind of on the Daredevil side, and the kind of iconic Daredevil swan dive there on the Batman side. So it's a bat in Hell's Kitchen and the devil that came to Gotham. So I had Dustin Wynn signed it here. I actually went to his booth all 3 days and spoke to him, you know, for a couple minutes each time. Super nice guy, and very. I really like his. I really like his work. So was very happy to get this. Like I said, it's going to look good in my comic room here. I think though you saw my last C2E2 video with the comics, know that I went to visit Don Rosa, the Life and Times of Donald Duck and Life and Times of Scrooge writer. So I got this on Saturday, and then I went back on Sunday and got a sketch done and had him sign a comic. This is for my dad, and so is the signed comic. I thought that was kind of cool. Just, you know, the different eras basically of Scrooge McDuck. You know, pretty cool drawing. I mean, it's just a reproduction print, but it's personalized to my dad and signed. And then if you saw my other video, you know that it was, you know, talking to Don Rosa is a bit of a challenge. At least it was for me. So, moving on. Mike Norton. He's got a book out there, or a series of books actually, called Battle Pug. And so he's got all these like kind of funny pug themed art, and so I got these there's 3 prints here in this kind of like DC series. So we got the Flash. All right, that's it for that one. Got Batman and Superman, and Wonder Woman. We had seen his booth last year at C2E2, and my wife really liked the Wonder Woman pug, so we were gonna go back and get it at the end of the day last year when we went, and we either I forgot if we didn't get a chance or if he had packed up a little earlier than we were expecting, or maybe sold out of those. I could be, but for whatever reason we didn't get it last year, and so this year I was sure to get them. And again, you know, these are just reproductions, and then he signed all 3 of them. But they're a lot of fun. All right, so now I've got this really nice commission piece. I'm gonna have to back the camera up a little bit because it's pretty good size. So my wife is a big Marilyn Monroe fan. I'm of course a big Batman fan, and so we've talked about incorporating those 2 figures in a commission, you know, a piece of art. And let me get this there. So I was walking around Artist Alley, and I saw Eduardo Pansica, who, to be honest, I didn't really, know. I saw he had, you could tell from the books he had out front that he was willing to sign. That he was worked on Green Lantern, or Green Lanterns, I should say, the Jessica and Simon book, and also All Star Batman. So I knew he could draw Batman. And then he had a sign up saying that he was accepting commissions. So I went, I kind of just went up to him and, and said, hey, I've been thinking about this idea of Batman and Marilyn Monroe, kind of embracing or, kind of a romantic picture. What do you think? Is that something you could do? And he's from Brazil, so his, English as a second language for sure. And so I was a little, iffy on the communication there. And I ended up, after he agreed to do it, I walked away and then thought, man, I sure hope he knows who I'm talking about. So I pulled up a picture, a bunch of images of Marilyn Monroe and walked back. I'm like, hey, this is who I'm talking about. You know who she is, right? And he's like, yeah, I'm good. So and then the whole thing is the process, it's my first commission, commissioning a piece. So I wasn't really sure how the whole thing worked. And, and then with the whole, language barrier, he wanted to be paid up front, which makes complete sense. I only had about half the money with me. So I gave him what I had, and he was totally cool with that. He was so gracious and accommodating and, a pleasure to talk to. It's just, when you're handed over money and you're not getting anything back, at least right away, it's a little nerve-wracking. And he, I'm like, do you need to take my name or anything? And he's like, no, we're good. It's like, oh, great. So there's, money down the drain, I guess. But so he said to come back. This was on Saturday that I was talking to him, Saturday afternoon. And he said to come back Sunday morning at about 11. And he would, be ready for us. So I was there by myself on Saturday, and then on Sunday, my wife came. So we were over at the Aunt Lucia booth. She's a huge Aunt Lucia fan. I talked about this on in the last video, and she's kind of picking out all these different frames or all these different prints of his, the mass-produced prints of his that she wants. And I'm like, let's before we, do that. Let's. I want to show you something. So we walk over to to where I knew Eduardo Pansica was, where his table was, and we walk up. And I can see, but by the time I get about 20 feet away, that he's actually working on our commission. And I can already see from that distance that it's amazing. So I was instantly, felt better because I really had no idea what to expect. I was kind of afraid that it wasn't going to be what I expected. That maybe you wouldn't be able to tell it was Marilyn, but you can clearly see that this is just perfect. You can definitely see it's Marilyn. Batman's drawn really, really well, really, strong, and then there's kind of shadow around him, and there's light around her, and it's super cool. So he was still working on it. He needed a little more time. I immediately forked over the rest of what I owed him, and we said we'd be back in an hour or so, and so couldn't be happier. I'm now a huge Eduardo Pansica fan, and will be on the lookout for any for when he's working on books. So I really hope. I don't know a whole lot about his career. Obviously, he's doing some work for DC, and I hope that continues and that he has a, very successful career. I unfortunately doesn't have like a Facebook page, or at least one that I could find. So, I can't follow him that way. But Eduardo, if you're out there, this is amazing, and could not be happier. So you can see we already got it framed, and we'll be hanging this up in our living room a little bit later on. So thanks a lot, YouTube.